Good morning, class. Welcome to today's lesson. We are learning in Electrical Installation Technology 1. Our topic today is Electrical Final Circuits, and I am your trainer, James Bogo. So, we shall start by discussing the lesson objectives. So, the objectives of our lesson today are that at the end of this lesson, you should be able to 1. Define a final circuit. 2. Mention the different types of final circuits. So the first thing is we are going to define what is a final circuit. And a final circuit is basically defined as an sorry, an outgoing circuit that is connected to a consumer control unit or a distribution board, and it is used to supply electrical energy directly to current using apparatus. I'll repeat the definition of a final circuit. A final circuit is basically an outgoing circuit, and that outgoing circuit, it is connected to a consumer control unit for single phase installation or to a distribution board for three phase installation, and it is now supposed to supply electrical energy either from the consumer control unit or from the distribution board now to other points which can be used by apparatus. Next, now we are going to discuss on the different types of final circuits. Now that we have understood what is a final circuit, we are going to discuss on the various types that we have. The first type of a final circuit is the lighting final circuit. At our houses, our homes, we have the lighting. A final circuit is a stand-alone. It means it is controlled. It has its own supply and it is stand alone. It can be turned on and off alone. So the first one is sorry, the first one is the lighting final circuit. Second one, we have the socket outlet final circuit. The socket also, that circuit of the socket is also a final circuit. And under the sockets, we have two types. Okay, we have the radial sockets and we have the ring sockets. So the other types of final circuits are final circuits that supply fixed load, final circuits that are used for control and signaling, then final circuits which are used for information, audiovisual, and monitoring. Once we have now known the types of the final circuits, we are now going to a photo illustration of a final circuit, and I'm going to explain to you. In any electrical installation, be it in the house or be it where, we always start at the meter box. And at the meter box, what we basically have are these basic components. We have the cutout there. That is the first point where Kenya Power are going to connect power to your house. Then from the cutout, the power is going to move to the energy meter. Okay, the energy meter is supposed to record the amount of electricity that is being consumed in the house. Then now from the energy meter, the electricity is going to be taken either to a consumer control unit here, to a consumer control unit, or if it is single phase, and if we are dealing with three phase installation, it will move to what we call a distribution board. Now at our installation, we have three wires. We have the first wire, which is live, second wire, which is neutral, and the wire that is green, that is earthing. And the earthing will move from the cutout and it will move up to the meter box, and then the live and the neutral. Now for us to understand the various types of final circuits, I will show you. From the consumer control unit, we have some things which we call circuit breaker. A circuit breaker is used to to offer protection in case there's a short circuit, in case there's overloading, in case there's overcurrent, and every circuit breaker is placed for its own final sub-circuit. So if where you see a circuit breaker, that means that whole circuit, it is a final subsystem. So I have told you we have a final sub-circuit for lighting. This is the one here. Okay, from the consumer control unit, we have the lighting sub-circuit that goes to the lighting, and from here we can see that we have various types of lightings. We have the first one where we only have one switch, which we refer to as one-way switching. That one switch will control this bulb alone. This the second one is also one-way switching, because we have one switch that controls one bulb. Then we have also one-way switching at the end there that controls one bulb, but we have one for two-way switching, meaning we have these two switches which will turn on and off this one bulb. So that is one example of the lighting final circuit. More of this will be discussed now when we shall be dealing with each final circuit on its own. This is just an introduction. Now we go to the sockets, the socket final circuit. For the sockets, I have said we have two types. We have the radial and the ring. So our key thing is to understand how do we differentiate between a ring final circuit and a radial. A ring, just the same way that we always say in marriage. For you to hold a wedding, you must have two rings, one for the bride and one for the groom. So the same way, for a ring final circuit, you have the first cable that moves from the consumer control unit. It goes to the first socket, you loop it to the second socket, you loop it to the third socket, you loop it to the fourth, you loop it to the fifth. Then that same cable should go back to the consumer unit from the circuit breaker where it came from. So now that is what we call a ring final circuit. That is a ring for the socket. Then we can tap a spar at the middle of this. Now for the radial, the difference between the ring and the radial. Now for the radial, once we tap our cables from the consumer control unit, you will take them to the first socket, you loop to the second socket, third socket, fourth and fifth. But now once you do that, the cable will not go back to the consumer control unit. So that is what we call radial final circuit. So I hope by now we have a clear picture of one, a lighting final circuit, two, a ring final circuit, three, a radial final circuit. Then we also have, I have also told you that we have things which we call final circuit supplying fixed loads. We have something like one here for the cooker, that 2 amps for the cooker. Okay, that is also a final circuit. So more of this will be discussed as we move forward to our next classes. I'll move to the next part. I want to give you a takeaway assignment. Okay, and it's going to be very simple. It relates to the work that we have learned today. So, and my takeaway assignment is this. I want you to go and check around your area of residence whether you can be able to identify and differentiate the various types of final circuits that we have learned today. So now with those few words, I want to thank you so much for attending this lesson, and please feel free to seek any assistance from me through my contact of 0723 552547 or my email address, which is jamesmbg2@gmail.com. Have a nice day. Thank you.